What are your preconceived notions stopping you from looking into, from stepping into? What are they blocking in your life? For Joe Rogan in this clip, preconceived notions stopped him from being the smoker that we all know him to be. It actually really relaxed him and it turned him into a different type of person, which has been a benefit for everybody who listens to his podcast. For me, it was a terrible decision and it made me a lot worse, but who knows where I would be now if I never got into it. Preconceived notions. I have one surprising preconceived notion that actually kept me from improving my life, and I'll let you know about that after we listen to this clip. This is episode 1939 with Be Real. We're at 44 minutes and 46 seconds. Let's get into it.
Happens where preconceived notions are very hard to let go. And people have them about, drugs, they have them about culture, they have them about a lot of things. But drugs are a big one because I've had my own preconceived notions about cannabis. When I was a kid, I didn't really do anything. I didn't party at all from the time when I was like 15 until I was like 21 because I was training and fighting and that's all I did. So I was a nerd, sort of. I was like kind of like socially awkward. And I thought that people who were getting high were just wasting their life. They weren't going to get nowhere. Like, I wasn't going to do that. I rarely drank, and if I did, I was always mad at myself. I was like, you're going to fucking slow your body down. This is going to fuck you up, and you're not going to be able to achieve your goals. I was too, like, maniacal in this mindset, and I thought that, like, weed was for losers. Until I started hanging out with Eddie Bravo. And Eddie Bravo and I were doing jiu-jitsu together at John Jock Machado's. This is, like, 98, somewhere around then.
Yeah.
And he starts talking about how much weed influences his music. And I go, really? And he goes, yeah. He goes, jiu-jitsu techniques, like I think a lot of them up when I'm high. And I'm like, that's crazy because I thought weed just slows you down. He goes, no. That's just like what people who don't smoke weed think.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's try this shit. So we went, got high, and then we went to Baskin and Robbins. And I remember this is like me high for the first time in, I don't know, more than a decade probably, right? Eating this fucking ice cream going, dude, this is the greatest fucking flavor I've ever experienced in my life. Oh, ice cream sundae when you're high for the first time. Like you've never, literally like I had never been high before because the time before that was like, maybe I was like in my early 20s, like 21 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it had been a long fucking time. 8-9 years.
Yes.
I'm like, weed slows you down, weed's bad for you, to like, oh my God, this is magic.
Yeah.
This is magic. Like, this food tastes so good. Like, it tastes way better than it would taste.
You appreciate it a lot more.
Oh my God, you appreciate friendship more. And I was like, this is amazing. I was like, oh, I didn't know what this was. I was like, I thought this was just for losers. I thought this was this thing, and you take it and you're like, oh, wow, man.
It's all the misinformation that they put out throughout all them years, man, to keep people from it.
It's also sometimes when you're stoned, it's hard to express yourself. And
True.
And sometimes shit comes out.
Sometimes it's hard to articulate, yes.
I fucking wonder, man.
Yeah. You could get that.
And if you're sober and people are high, sometimes that could be annoying.
Like if I'm doing concentrates, man, that's when it gets tough. Like flour I got all day. That's nothing for me. But it's the concentrates and like the RSO.
RSO. Marijuana's gotten to that point. I don't even know what RSO is. Like, what is that? But if you want to listen to this further, it's 47 minutes, 37 seconds, and then they just start talking about weed. Like, they just go into a big weed talk. It's pretty great. I don't smoke anymore, but it's still pretty great to hear. But yeah, preconceived notions. Look what it did for Joe Rogan. All of a sudden, he stepped into it. He became a more relaxed person. He started pursuing his goals on a different level. Now, I don't want to concentrate on that because he's talking about doing drugs as a preconceived notion. And for a lot of you, staying away from drugs is actually the best thing for you to do. But you could look at life and say, what do I have set up in my mind already that I could be wrong about? That's a great thing to like approach in life, good things, again, not drugs. But just think about it. I had one preconceived notion. Because I listened to just random people. I just listened to the mainstream media. This is back in the day. And it was about Jordan Peterson. And some person who I kind of trusted, not really. Like they were a sibling of one of my friends. And they were like, Jordan Peterson's racist. And I was like, he's a professor. I really don't like school. So I didn't like teachers. So he was a teacher. So that was easy. And then from there, somebody told me he was racist. So I was like, done deal. I'm never going to listen to this guy. And then I had some friends who would suggest listening to him. And I'd be like, nah, I'm not into that guy. Not into that guy. He's racist. I would just say it. I would just parrot it out. Oh, he's racist. He's racist. Completely wasn't true. It's a preconceived notion that I just had, just based on nothing, based on somebody who was just very left leaning, and what they consider racist is just like a whole spectrum of things that aren't. And it kept me from him for a long time. And I could have taken in his lessons a lot sooner, and I could have improved my life a lot sooner than I did. And it was something that I'm glad I got over. I just stopped listening to that person. I was like, why do I even think this? And I just started listening to him. And I'm like, this guy's amazing. This guy's incredible. And he is, so never just be open-minded, Again, the question, what is something that I believe that I don't really have too much proof of, or too much of a foundation to even think that I could just like move past and just look into the thing that I'm like blocking myself from? You have no idea where it'll take you. For Joe Rogan, it took him down a path of smoking weed. For me, it took me down a path of listening to Jordan Peterson and getting into psychology. And from there, getting into coaching and using a lot of his philosophies in my coaching program and in my life. So don't let your own mind hold you back from improving. All right, I'm out.